Today's video is about the Pyle PT1100 stereo amplifier. I actually got this unit from Facebook Marketplace, so unfortunately I don't have the original box or accessories to show you. But I will still go over what you usually get when buying this amplifier brand new. And we will take a full look at its features, internals, specs and performance. Also, if you are looking for more audio testing clips, check out our Instagram and Facebook pages. I post more sound samples there since YouTube sometimes blocks copyrighted contents even in short demos. Alright, before diving into the features, I want to talk briefly about the brand. And just to clarify, all the information I share here is gathered from the publicly available sources online. I may be wrong on some points, and if I am, feel free to correct me politely in the comments. Pyle is actually a long-standing brand with its origins in Brooklyn, New York. Going back to the 1960s, it became known for car audio systems, speakers, and eventually expanded into home and pro audio products. The company is still based in the US, but like many other modern audio brands, most of its products, including this amplifier, are manufactured in China. When I opened up the PT1100, I noticed that the internal components and the layouts were very similar to what you would find in budget amplifiers like Sunbuck or AudioX. This doesn't mean anything negative. It simply reflects the fact that many brands today use the shared OEM or ODM manufacturing to make products more affordable and accessible. It's actually pretty standard across the industry. Now, this amplifier does have a label on the back that says engineered in Japan and designed in USA. It's not very clear how deep the engineering goes, whether it refers to the physical design, quality control or actual circuitry. So again, this is just my interpretation based on what I found online and inside the unit. If you know more, feel free to let me know in the comments. So, who is the PT1100 meant for? I would say it's great for anyone looking for an affordable stereo amplifier with microphone inputs. Think karaoke nights, small events, or a basic home theater setup. It supports A or B speaker zones, has manual tone controls, and even includes mic echo, which is great for parties and announcements. If you are just starting to build a sound system and want something flexible without spending a fortune, this is a solid choice. If you are in Canada, you will usually find this PT1100 selling new for around 130 to 160 Canadian dollars, depending on the retailer. It's available on Amazon.ca, Walmart, and a few specialty audio shops. Since I picked up mine used, I managed to get it at a lower price, which made it an even better deal. In India, the PT1100 is sometimes available through Amazon, Flipkart or local dealers in electronics market. Price there ranges about 8,000 to 12,000, again depending on the seller and import cost. On the front panel, you have got two microphone inputs with independent bass, treble controls, and a common mic volume and echo control. A separate bass, treble and balance control for music, a large master volume control knob with blue LED backlight, and a big analog style digital VU meter that lights up when the amp is powered on. Dot switches to select the input and A or B speaker selection, which uses relays to switch between. The small display in the VU meter shows which input is selected. Pyle branding, model number, and the boosted 1000 watts badging, which I will talk about it later. On the back, you get 4 stereo RCA input options, that is a CD, aux, tuner, and phono. 1 stereo recording output, which is basically the line out. A or B speaker outputs using the binding pose, a voltage selector switch for 110 volt or 220 volt operation, and an IEC power socket along with a built-in cooling fan. The chassis is full metal and it's got a classic rack mount form factor. It weighs around 14 pounds, which feels pretty substantial, definitely not plasticky or cheap. I love the front panel design, it stands out, thumbs up to the designer. Alright, let's break down the actual technical specs. Inside, the amplifier uses a 28 volt toroidal transformer for the power amplifier board, and based on its size, it's probably rated around 5 to 8 ampere. It also have a 12 volt and 23 volt outputs for fan, tone board, karaoke board, speaker selector, and the VU meter module as well. For output, each channel uses a pair of B688 and D718 transistors, the classic complementary power transistors often found in Class AB amplifier design. This setup is common in mid-range audio gear. Now, on the box and in listings, you will often see the amp advertised as 1000 watts power amplifier. But here is the important part. And again, this is based on my research and testing. Those 1000 watts are peak power, possibly measured under 2 ohm load and high distortion. That's not the same continuous RMS power, that's the root mean square power, which is what really matters for the actual audio performance. So, what's the real world output? With plus or minus 39 volt DC rails from the transformer and factoring in the transistor's limit and efficiency, you realistically get around 60 to 70 watts RMS per channel into 8 ohms and maybe 90 to 100 watts per channel into 4 ohms. But only in short bursts, especially since there is only one pair of output transistors per channel and passive heatsinks. So, while the 1000 watt figure might look impressive in ads, what you are really getting is solid mid-range power, more than enough for most home use, background music or karaoke setup. Taking a look inside the amp confirms what I expected. The board layout is clean but fairly typical of budget amplifiers. The capacitors are generic, the wiring is simple, and there is no excessive shielding or premium components. That's not a complaint, it's just a part of how manufacturers keep the price reasonable. And again, the internals are very similar to what you would see in a Sunbuck, AudioX and other brands that uses the same OEM or ODM partners. This doesn't mean it's bad. In fact, it's kind of opposite. Reliable, proven design shared across brands to reduce cost and increase accessibility. Alright, let's listen how this thing sounds. It's recommended to use a headphone to get a better idea. You can see the VU meter responding nicely, and the amp pushes clean sound up to around 60 to 70% of volume. Beyond that, some hiss and slight distortion begin to show, especially with the music that has a wide dynamic range. The echo function on the mic inputs works well for the karaoke or small venue announcements. Nothing over the top, but definitely useful. So, here is my take on the Pyle PT1100. It's not a high-end audiophile amplifier, but it was never meant to be. For the price, it's a versatile, reliable stereo amplifier with a good set of features, especially if you need mic inputs, tone controls, and basic sound shaping. The claimed 1000 watt specs, it's a marketing number, not a reflection of the RMS power. And that's totally fine as long as you know what to expect. I hope this video helped clarify what PT1100 offers, what's inside, and how it really performs. If you want more detailed audio demos, remember to check out our Instagram and Facebook pages where I post sound tests that YouTube might block here. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what amp you'd like me to review next. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.